jump right on into our next deck here today. So this is actually something we got beat up by on the ladder at one point, and then someone donated for it to say, okay, Jeff, we want to try that out because it was sweet. So the base idea here is this. We have Vi, which is a 5 cost, gets bigger whenever you play a card, and she levels when she strikes for 10 plus damage. She is Challenger and Tough, so she's very good at helping you control the board. And then her leveled mode says, whenever I strike a unit while attacking, deal 5 damage to the enemy nexus. So what happened to us when we played against this deck is we basically got OTK'd, 1 turn killed. Our opponent had Vi, who they then supported with Kato the Arm, so they gave Vi Overwhelm, and then they overwhelmed her up to over 10 attack, and then they used Whirling Death to get Vi to strike and then overwhelm through. So kind of a roundabout different region pseudo Lee Sin style combo with the overwhelm from Kato and then Whirling Death to help enable her level up and make her really strong. The rest of this deck is kind of just reasonable P and Z, Noxian good cards. So we've got the kind of typical interactive Mystic Shots, get excited. I've got Draven as our second champion here, who also has Whirling Death as his champion spell. I've got some House Spiders here at the bottom end of our curve to come up the board. I'm notably leveraging Rummage alongside Jury Rig, Chump Wump, and Chump Wump, and what is this one? This is Clump of Wumps, to let us filter through our deck a little bit to find our things consistently. Then I've got a couple of Daddy Farron up here at the top end of the curve to close things out if we can't set things up with our combo kills. So let's go ahead and dive on into a few games with this and see if we get to do the thing today. But things that cause the strike, does it overwhelm their nexus? It does not, Kid Paps. But if leveled by Whirling Death something, it triggers her static text that deals 5 to their nexus still because she's attacking and then striking. Jinx, Draven, Teemo. So discard aggro here on the other side of the board for the opponent. I'm going to mulligan the Noxian Fervor, but I'm pretty happy with the rest of this hand. Clump of Wumps curves into the Sump Dredger really nicely, because this makes us a Mushroom Cloud that we can discard to draw with this. Culling's a good card here. So, the key, for people asking why Overwhelm doesn't work with when you use a strike card, the key part of this detail here is when I deal excess damage to... The excess damage I deal to my blocker is dealt to the enemy nexus. So when you're having something strike, while it's still striking something and triggers things that trigger on strike, you're not striking a blocker specifically. A unit being a blocker is something that's specific to attacking and blocking inside of combat. They discarded Poro there. Interesting. Super happy to have a 1-1 Chump Block here. If I trade this for a 1-1 plus a 2-1, I think that's a good exchange for us. My opponent's deck is a crowd favorite deck that also plays other go-wide things like Arena Battlecaster, so keeping their board as condensed as possible is one of my goals in these games. Howdy, Herney. I mostly just want to preserve my life total as much as possible, Mount. Yeah, I basically want to be minimizing damage. Every decision I make over the course of these games should be focused on minimizing the amount of damage I'm taking. Which is why I'm going to play this Vi out very aggressively here and start using her to manage their board. They just passed the turn. So I really want to hook something with this Vi, but burning their mana here is super appealing. So yeah, I think we just ship the turn. Especially considering I have these two in hand to, like, clap their board. I agree that that's bait. And then I'm going to pass back again here because they notably have crowd favorite mana available. And if they crowd favorite, I want to double clap it.
There's the 1-2 punch.
And again, predictions, I know when you're a new player to card games, a prediction like this kind of feels like, oh, streamer got kind of lucky, opponent had the thing they expected them to have. But the way in which you get to that position is I'm just asking myself with a very simple question of, okay, what's my lose condition? How do I die from this spot that I'm in? And in that particular spot, the answer to that lose condition question, how do I get blown out, is crowd favorite. And then I ask myself the question after I say, okay, what do I lose to? I ask myself the important question of, can I play around the thing that's my lose condition? And in this instance, I could, right? Like, there's gonna be some spots where you can't play around it and you do just die, but there's also gonna be a lot more spots where you think through what beats you and you go, okay, how do I beat this thing that's bad for me with this mix of cards in my hand? This does level Vi here, which is great. You want to just be asking yourself those permutations.
Coming to save the day. Or wreck it.
Alright, so they gotta kill us next turn. We're at 9. Killing us next turn is not impossible for them, especially if they level Jinx.
I'm on the verge of something. What science without a little risk?
I'm on a roll.
Okay.
Who gets tossed?
Everyone!
Watch your step.
It's Draven time.
Who's a good job?
Yep. Yeah, the range on Runeterra is really great, and that's something you see quite frequently in this game, where you have two decks that are the same regions, but like what they're doing is completely different. I definitely play Captain Pharaon pre-combat here, right? Is there any reason not to? If they rummage, what's the out? So they could rummage, get a missile me, get excited, but even that's only 7, right? They could decimate, double Mystic Shot me. But that's pretty unlikely. Their archetype doesn't usually play Decimate. I think it's correct to play Pharaon and guarantee they die this turn. I think there's a chance they don't die in this combat step if I don't play Pharaon, so I'm supposed to play Pharaon. And you just close this game out. Yeah, I agree, Limpton. I think the odds of us dying, and that dialogue we just went through, I talked about the permutations of what they could have, what beats us, what doesn't beat us, can we play around it, like, what stops us from killing them otherwise. Those types of things are the things you want to be thinking about when you're playing. Freeze!
I give you muscles.
Just want to give as many things overwhelm as possible here.
This is gonna hurt for you.
The eye says they're dead, click OK.
Everyone goes boom! Enforcer down.
I think the Pharaon play was correct regardless there, but they did have to get excited and it showed why it was worth playing it.
All me. And maybe those other guys.
Maybe those other guys, you know, sometimes. Correct, yes. I explicitly didn't support Vi because Vi was dealing damage to them regardless just by striking an enemy unit, and I wanted to spread out where my overwhelm was coming from. Fiora, Orion Sol. That's a really neat combination. I'm kind of into it. Fiora helps you control the board early, and then Orion Sol's a pretty unstoppable late game threat. Keeping Get excited against the Fiora deck's probably advisable. I'm gonna bin Captain Pharaon for now, look for some other discard enablers. Draven in a way is a discard enabler because he creates a spinning axes we don't mind getting rid of, which is nice. There's the discard enabler.
The party has arrived.
Shoutouts to folks in chat using the commands in the stream title instead of just asking questions when they come in. I appreciate y'all for helping us stay organized. Also, shoutouts to everybody that subbed to the second YouTube channel. We're up to almost 1,000 people on there already. I'm actually interested to see what the sub count on the Just Runeterra channel ends up at.
Watch and learn.
Because my existing main channel is still hemorrhaging subscribers after since I stopped doing magic content, so I'm interested to see how many people I get up to interested in Runeterra stuff only. So they know this axe is here, so like they have some kind of trick, right? No trick. Alright, well I could have answered a trick regardless, but that's bold strategy, Cotton. It's actually been about 2.5 months since I stopped doing magic content. And yeah, we seem to have stabilized right around my goal.
Have their swords.
Why did I stop making magic content? I stopped making magic content because I just wasn't happy playing the game anymore. Magic changed in terms of its fundamental design principles in the last number of years, and I just wasn't enjoying playing the game like I once did. If I'm being completely honest, the only reason I kept playing Magic for as long as I did was because it was paying my mortgage. Dropped off some income switching to primarily Runeterra, but I'm much happier And life is short, chat.
You're gonna need a
I honestly, I thought maybe, like, midway through this year, I was wondering if maybe I had just changed as a person. I just didn't like card games anymore. And I'm so happy I found Runeterra. Like, this game has just reminded me of all the reasons I love card games. It just does everything I want out of a card game. All those good feels I was used to having from other games that I enjoyed previously, Runeterra does it really well, and they pair all those good feels and good design with an economy that's very player-friendly, and these axes let my 4/3s attack into this, which is great. NASA is crazy, thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. And even if they have, like, Pale Cascade here, I have triple axe. I mean, and, like, mine's more complicated than most people, right, Sarja? Like, having my income directly tied to the game definitely impacted my ability to get out of it for a long time. Wonder if they have, like, single combat here? And, like, I'm gonna do this, then they'll, like, single combat here, and then they'll force us to axe this as well. I think I'd rather have a Get Excited than a House Spider here. Yeah, and I mean, like, San, like, part of my frustration with that game, too, wasn't even just their new designs, but, like, the way Magic has managed their card games, like, lifetime speaking, has always been something I've had a hard time dealing with. I'm not a big fan of how they tend to manage their games. They have a very big issue with, like, the amount of transparency Riot has communicating to their player base is just so incredibly refreshing. The fact that they just, like, share with us like it is, and they don't treat us like idiots is great. You always said that if you're looking to make money playing card games, you should instead go to your job. Do you feel that conflicts with your current occupation? I mean, that statement, Lambton, is tied to the idea of... That statement has the context of playing card games competitively for money. So that the context there is important in that statement.
And here's where I'd paint my constellation.
Well, I mean, it's also important, too, like, acknowledging Riot's track record and issues they've had in the past. You know, they've worked to correct those issues and make positive changes. Like, one of, like, the most recent great example, if you care about being socially responsible in capitalism at all, it's tough. The ethical consumption under capitalism is rough, chat. But like, when one of the Riot executives made an awful comment after George Floyd was murdered, Riot not only promptly let him go, but they also made a donation. Like, they put money behind it as well, in addition to doing what was right. And like, while I definitely think boycotting and saying I'm not going to do these things if your company's making decisions I don't like is important, I also think it's equally important to, like, say, hey, this company's made meaningful changes and it's worth revisiting them, because if you're not going to give these things a second chance after they make the changes you want, why would they ever make changes to social pressure, right? Like, you can't be like, this sucks and this isn't okay, and then, like, even once they change it, be like, nah, you're still canceled. And this lines up okay here, so, like, we get to kill Fiora, and then Captain Pharaon could end this game very easily. Just fantastic card to have his last one in hand here. Perfect. That's probably one of the best draws in our deck, honestly. They are notably still 2 mana away from Orion's Soul, which is good for us. I think we're supposed to Draven Kato here. I want to get a round of attacks in before they drop a Cosmic Space Dragon. I mean, even if they have Riposte, they're going to take a metric load of damage, right? They need, like, Riposte plus single combat or Riposte plus Concerted Strike. They need to kill this before it deals 8 to them to have a real shot here, I think. Which they could do. They have a combination of cards that do that, but that's what needs to happen here. Does the opponent's deck play the 5 mana heal 5? Quite possibly, Socio Penguin. The opponent's deck isn't a super established archetype. It's a bit of a brute. So I think Star Shaping is a real card they could have. Which is another reason why I want to play to the board here, so we can hit them for as much as possible. Because there is a chance that they do end up healing here. They just binned a single combat. That could imply they have another or a different way to interact in combat. It could also just imply that they don't have a barrier. Without a barrier, the single combat's not very good here. Oh, they have Concerted Strike too, huh? Okay. Huh.
Hold still.
Okay. There's the Cosmic Space Dragon we've heard so much about.
Your favorite star. I created it.
One chump blocker, please.
More courage than brawn, I'm afraid.
That is really good. That could save them. That lets them kill Captain Pharaon. Nah, I think I'm gonna have a chance to axe things later, most likely. So I think I actually take 10 here, right? I think the extra point of damage from this could matter, and they're not an atrocity deck.
One girl wrecking crew.
My, how they
1 damage makes both decimates lethal. Yeah, but like they have healing, so. It is a decent draw. It means we have a chance to beat Judgment if they don't have other healing. Even if they have Star Shaping here, they're dead to double decimate. Star Shaping puts them to 8. The Mystic Shot means we beat Star Shaping Guiding Touch here also, which is great. And these are heads up. So they know these are coming and they haven't conceded, so I'm expecting some healing here. And they need double Star Shaping here to beat double decimate. And even if they have that, we're not just dead, because I have blockers still for this. Captain. Captain Farron lives up to his voice lines, chat. He's very, very, very good at what he does.
Whatever.
You know, even 6 months in, it's honestly still just kind of wild how competitive various random piles of cards are in this game. Like, we're 2 for 2 on playing decks today that were just like viewer submissions around a specific gimmick that have just been like reasonably competitive. We've been winning games with them. I think I'm gonna keep the Whirling Death, actually. It's basically a removal spell here. I hope the reveal icon on cards in hand is something they add at some point. I agree that that is a good feature. They don't open attacks here. This is great. Yeah, I think that's what that's the way I would approach building that deck, Vane. Is like you play Orient Soul Eclipse with two clutches. Honestly, I'd probably play one of something else. It's probably like 2 Asol, 2 Eclipse, 2 clutches with Fiora at the bottom end. I think that would be a great way to approach it.
It's Draven time.
Oh no.
Hey, kiddo. Dig your kid up.
Reporting in.
What the is that?
that voice line still gets me, chat. It's so good.
Got me good.
It's so good. Best voice line in a. Hey, come get some.
Axes need victims.
God, axes need victims.
An axe with your name on it. Time for the money.
So if I do this, and then I do this, and then I Whirling Death here, Draven will level and then survive the hit from this.
What's my name?
And then his leveled mode makes 2 axes for us that we can discard to this rummage here as well, which is great.
What time is it?
Good chance this dies to a burn spell, but now my next Draven is leveled as well, which is great.
My beautiful face.
My 2 favorite decks in the current format are Leona Swain and Go Hard Ezreal, both of which are up on my website. If you asked me to pick, those would be my 2 favorites. And here, there's our Captain Farron. So again, the game plan here is just survive to get to here. Let's try and give her the clap. They could level her in response here.
I'm on a roll.
So getting a little punished for binning the Noxian Fervor early, but I think that was correct at the time still. It's close, though. Man, that's brutal. The way we lose this game definitely starts with leveled Jinx, so... Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some more Pokemon tonight too, Kyle. Thanks for dropping in this morning. B-Burps, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Now it's a party.
Okay, they didn't make a rocket there. Soon TM, Socio Penguin.
Here somewhere.
Why is their last card always this? It's always Augmented Experimenter, chat. Our Captain Pharaon means we maybe have a shot here. This is a card that could single-handedly win the game, so. Wolfwood, thank you for the 25 months. Really appreciate that. Welcome back. Dead Division. Man, what a brutal series of draws. The discard aggro deck is so good. Just the Jinx level into the Experimenter into the exact lethals from 8. The Siege was broken, just not quite in the way we wanted. Thanks for the 25 months, Wolfwood. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Leona Oriental. We're full mulliganing here, looking for a more aggressive start.
Clad in shining sunlight.
Culling Strike's probably not going to have a ton of great targets in their deck, so I'm just going to go ahead and burn this now. Get my 1-for-1. A little bit tempo negative, trading 3 mana for their 2 mana play, but I think that's fine for us. We get to go ahead and play Clump of Wumps here. We bank a spell mana, and then Leona will die. Maybe, it depends on when they sequence her. Next turn, we can play the Chump, and then rummage away to Mushrooms, potentially.
Daylight breaks on the back.
There's also situations like this where there's value in getting to use my Culling Strike when it's guaranteed to not get blown out by a Pale Cascade. Because like Culling Striking her here is a little ambitious into the 3 Pale Cascade deck. They might also even be playing the +2/+2 Demacia card. Up top.
Gaze into the light.
And now if they have a Pale Cascade to save them here, I can kill this with a Mystic Shot next turn still, which is great. Remember that time we played around Pale Cascade, chat? Pepperidge Farm remembers. So smart and thin. So I assume they're opening on a Daybreak card here, but the fact that they have this could mean that they don't. And now, this is the perfect opportunity to Culling Strike Leona here, because she's not leveled, obviously, and if they Pale Cascade, they need another burst spell beforehand to cantrip it. I think we take this opportunity to try and kill her now.
Sun sets.
Virtue guides me.
This is a little annoying, but our deck also isn't really all in on being aggressive, so, especially with the Captain Fair on hand, I don't think that's the end of the world. I'm gonna go ahead and rummage now, try and get a better feel for what cards we have in our hand. Judgment is a card we have to worry about out of the opponent's archetype, is worth noting. Definitely just ending the round here. Happy to burn their mana off.
I am the bulwark against darkness. Daylight breaks on the battlefield. Bask in the light's radiance.
What's the end game for this deck? He'll finish this. Vi with Overwhelm is also something we're doing. Alright, so I've got 10 cards at the moment in hand. So we're gonna want to rummage to get down to 9 so I don't burn a draw next turn. %, want to play around Judgment here, so we're gonna just open on attackings with just this.
Stay back.
I think we're in a position to be able to play around Judgment. Might makes right, chat.
I fight for the fallen.
Sure. Captain Perron is a state of mind, chat.
With a little time, I'll have a breakthrough.
I mean, I technically have 13 in my hand, right?
Banish the unworthy.
That was a really good RNG.
Excuse you.
All right, but what about second Pharaons? We've had first Pharaons. What about second Pharaons?
powers diminish without my attention. Oh my.
Hope burns on.
"24 out of 25. What a convenient number.
Love an audience.
Things you love to see, chat. The White Tuna. Thanks for the follow. If you're still here, welcome to Hoaglandia. Killing their lifesteal unit there is very important because it means that they're unable to use like single combats to gain life in a pinch. Yeah, Victor Sweet. You'll be able to find my full spoiler reactions every single day up on my YouTube channel here, my second YouTube channel.
The constellations bow to me.
Yeah, thank you for dropping in today, 42.
I do love an audience.
I mean, I have them dead through one star shaping, right? I've got 9 points in my hand here still.
What once was two, now is one.
Captain Farron's a messed up card. He's real good. It's nice to see the single combat there getting paid off for killing their Radiant Guardian earlier that game. We cast 5 Decimates. Yep, we cast 2 Pharaons and 5 Decimates. Culling Strike is great here. I think I mulligan the House Spider. I think I was looking for things that can kill or interact with their fearsomes. We would have cast the 6th if it wasn't for our meddling opponent losing. Darn opponents always running out of life before we can cast our 6th Decimate. All good sieges must come to an end, alas. Alright, so really want to draw Jury Rigs or Mushroom Makers at the moment. Playing Elise. Stalking Shadows. Okay, so they're hoping to find an owl here then? I've been right to play this pre-combat. They play a Kalista. I'm kind of sad, though. Definitely just playing this now while they don't have Pale Cascade up. They could marker the Isles here, but then it dies at end of turn, so don't. Just because your card is fast speed doesn't mean you have to wait to the last possible second to play it. Playing it proactively to play around things like that whenever possible seems great. Nick Makes Plays. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream this morning. You're playing some Whirling Death Vi this afternoon. I'm bad, you're worse. I've never felt so attacked by a Twitch username before. Maybe it was better to Culling Strike here rather than trading these. Oh, they're not trading. That's good for us. Mystic Shot. Love it. Any thoughts on Victor? Yeah, he seems sweet. Augment's gonna be a real archetype. It's awesome to me how every set release, the Runeterra design team seems to manage making their format bigger as opposed to just printing busted cards to invalidate old decks. Rather than power creeping old things out of the game, they just create new interesting things so the field gets more varied. So there's some incentive to play Vi this turn, but again, this is an opportunity to get to Culling Strike the Mistwraith while they don't have any tricks up for it. So I think I just want to get that while the getting is good here. I mean, that's not even limited to Wizards of the Coast. Power creeping your card game so people have to buy stuff from your new expansion is like an age-old TCG tradition. That's just like how card games work up until this point. Runeterra is breaking the mold of traditional card games in so many different ways. It's phenomenal. He generates an axe, which I get to discard to some treasure here. This card's real good. Yes, spoilers go up at 9 a.m. PST as a point of reference. Pretty sure I just want to keep my life total high here, so we're going to trade here and then throw this in front of this to gain 4. Now, a question is, do I want to throw away one of these to gain 5? I think the answer is no. This is ephemeral, it's going away. So, 1-1 to gain 4, that's fine. 4-3 to gain 5, not so great. Yeah, I think we're playing by here.
Wrecking crew.
Yeah, the League of Legends IP being really strong and well developed is definitely one of the many things Runeterra has going for it. It might be right to play a Jury Rig for no value just to give Vi a point of attack to level her this turn. We'll see what they play out here. Getting her leveled has some real value. Alright, so that's no longer an option. And then the question I have to ask myself next is it worthwhile to trade my 3-3 for their 4-3 in order to push a little bit of damage here? I think the answer is no. It's also worth noting, like, next turn could be a harrowing turn for my opponent as well, so keeping their board a little bit clogged makes their potential harrowings worse also. Yeah, I mean, the augment mechanic in general looks like it's going to be an aggressive mechanic. So I think it probably makes sense to assume that he's going to be an aggressive champion. I think I agree with that take. Augment scaling your attack up is a pretty aggressive ability. I really love this Christmas board. It's so well done. Makes me feel festive. The Christmas board feels festive, but not like Maul playing Christmas music make me want to vomit festive. It's like just the right amount of festive. What are the boys getting for Christmas? I don't know, I haven't talked to Santa yet this year. Oh, are we gonna die? I think we're gonna die, chat. This means they have a second one, right? This card is so good. Yep. So much for blocking.
So this is what losing feels like?
It's not. It sucks. It's not good, is it, Draven? Yeah, Skitterer is definitely the glue that holds the opponent's archetype together. A little bit unfortunate on our part that we drew a bunch of kind of clunky cards, didn't see any more of our Mystic Shots or get excited, but it is what it is sometimes. A White Mage and Need, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel, folks. If you're new, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do Runeterra 5 to 7 days a week in the morning, usually from about 10 a.m. Central to about 1 p.m. Central, so we'll be live for another 15 minutes, half hour or so today. Playing with this deck. Usually play 2 different constructed decks every single day of the week. You enjoy the content, be sure to check out my YouTube channel as well. I have a channel where I post a daily highlight deck video, 7 days a week. Runtime CMD, thanks for 11 months. I'm gonna mulligan the Get Excited against the Control deck. Yeah, but I keep the rest of these. We're not super aggressive, but we're also attacking on evens, which means we're not going to be able to be too aggressive. This is definitely a matchup where we're hoping to draw Captain Pharaon.
Took the bait. The party has arrived. Hot on the trail.
I think I take this hit here. These decks play Flash Freeze sometimes, so now I can Chump Wump, and then I can attack, and if they Flash Freeze me, I can Might. We're hoping to fade them drawing the 5/5 Enraged Jetty right away. If we can dodge that, I think we can dodge a ball. Lee Duck, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Tread carefully. Draven.
Could beat 1 trick there, couldn't beat 2. Can make Shards of the Mountain playable. Shards of the Mountain is already playable. We played it in a sick combo deck on stream the other day. It was great. Don't slander my boy Shards of the Mountain.
I'm doing this my way.
My way. Really, really? I'll put the show up for the Sweet Dex highlight channel one more time. all the highlight videos tend to be less than a half hour. They're a good condensed piece of daily content if you haven't checked them out before.
Justice for trouble coming at ya.
So my choice here is I can attack with both of these to get in, or I could just mite the Vi. I think I'm into just miting the Vi. This is bad into a second flash freeze, but they don't always play a ton of that card. So I think the possibility to slam them for a bunch and level Vi is pretty big here.
Coming to save the day. Or wreck it.
They don't have Field of Rush mana yet, which is good for us. We're short on Captain Pharaon mana, though. Kato the arm here is stellar. Gonna give us really good open attacks next turn.
What time is it?
Kato block!
Bow to your king.
I think I blocked Trundle here because I want to play around Atrocity.
You suck. Go die!
Trouble coming at ya.
I give you muscles!
Move it.
Yeah, I think I do this actually, and then axe Kato is the plan. This kills their Trundle as well.
Get back here.
Think I'm still like a yodel in uniform?
Do I want to bank 3 mana next turn? Nah, I don't think so. We could just go wide. I have 9, 10 mana total. Can drop Pharaon, bank 2. Nah, I think the Mushroom Zero would be too cheeky. I just pass, right? Because they're dead to opens. But this is vulnerable.
For the thrill of battle.
Man, just once in my life, I would like to not die to Atrocity at the end of a close game.
Death itself can't stop me.
Well, so the atrocity diet flowchart is very simple. When do they have atrocity? Always. When do you have atrocity? Never. No, it just flings the leveled up Tryndamere, Socio Penguin. Mystic Shot wouldn't help us, because you have to damage it and then get a second round of priority to Scorched Earth. Are we decimating or are we vying? So, decimate's much better against harsh winds, right? If they gain 3 here with Grasp or Whale...
Let rage fill your soul.
Holy gosh, chat, they didn't have it. Sometimes lucky. Yeah, Vi's more fun, but I think it's the wrong play. If I play Vi and they harsh winds Vi in my Tryndamere, or Vi in my Captain Pharaoh, we just lose to open attacks the following turn. So Whale was the only one we were sad about. Even if they had Whale or Grasp there, my Captain Pharaoh could have hooked into the Ice Pillar to still kill them. So we beat Whale and Grasp there that last turn because of the Ice Pillar being vulnerable at an 06. Alright, go hard, Twisted Fate. Mulliganing these for now. I think I'm going to keep Draven Chump Wump. Spider's a decent pickup, especially attacking on evens. This is excellent with Chump Wump and Draven to fuel it. Our build around's $10. They are. Alfanda, all deck submissions are $10.
I know what lurks in
As a heads up / asterisk though, and I've been starting to tell people this in deck submission response emails. Because I lowered the price, we have gotten a bunch more deck submissions as anticipated, so a $10 deck submission does have about a 1.5 to 2 week turnaround time at the moment. We have, what is it, 16 decks in the queue as of this morning.
Dad, I'm ready for my close-up.
You're ready for your close-up, baby girl. Who's adorable? Oh, you're adorable. Can you say hello to the stream, Haley, baby? Who's that? Who's that baby on the screen? Is it you? Is it you? I think I'm just playing Draven here then.
I have the best job.
She has an emote.
She does have an emote. Because she's great. It's up. That one right there.
Yeah, I know what she looks like.
Do you? Do you know what she looks like?
Oh, somebody chatted and the cursor moved, but I'm not gonna hit the backspace.
It's a baby with burritos. That's fine. Probably getting set up to deal another one there. That's not a big deal.
They think she looks like us. I don't see it.
She does look like us.
She's a different color eyes than the rest of us.
I think we play Chump One pre-combat here.
Hey, Mom, still like a yodel in uniform.
This is my youngest for anybody that's new to the stream. How old are you? Or you can't answer that question like your brothers? She's 6 months yet? Almost.
6 months on Monday.
6 months on Monday.
Who says
Just
I
an old baby girl.
Beautiful face.
Huh. With that red card, I probably don't want to attack into here because I don't really want to trade my 4-2 for their 2-2. She does just about have more hair than me, finally. It's a low bar, but she now clears it.
Gotta go with the flow.
Very I think it'll be brown.
So, I think we're just killing their champions this turn. I'm just going to go ahead and give this the clap and Culling Strike this. What do you think? You talking?
Tell your dad that you don't want to be a kid who naps anymore.
No more naps. Uh-oh. You're a giant awake girl all the time? Yeah.
Dad, just let me play.
You're a little bit too little. Too loud.
What are you calling little?
Down to 15 here. Naps are great. See, baby girl? They think naps are great. Why don't you? So I could play another Draven. We could also just lead on... We could also just lead on Rummage and see what we get here. Let's do that. To start, we could find Defy. Mystic Shot's a great pickup. Yeah, I think we Draven here.
It's Draven time.
You know what? Atrid, thank you for the 2 months. This is my big camera setup.
deal me in?
Haley deserves the big screen.
I'm a people person.
Alright. To your mother. To your mother. She's very heavy, chat. She is 98th percentile for height and weight. Big baby.
Just run while you can.
What do you think, girl?
Sure. Hey, Nanich, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Get Ezreal Lux back in the queue. Sounds good. Just gonna go ahead and shoot the Twisted Fate now before they can have mana up to glimpse it next turn. She seems very happy for something like that.
Let's do this.
Daddy, your favorite person ever.
So, I've killed 2 Twisted Fates already, and I have some other card selection in hand, so I think I'm actually going to go ahead and kill this just to get the board clear a bit. Ish.
Try again.
It is pretty. She is just so cool and cute. And this is another Draven here, so if this one dies too, a deal 1, that's fine. I believe they're 1 more off. Yeah, they're still go hards. Need 2 more to tell us to pack our bags.
We playing build rules, son?
And then I don't think I want to open up attacks. I think we open on Kato. Ooh, good toss. Victor seems sweet. Augment seems like it's going to be a real aggro strategy. For Twisted Fizz, sounds good, Bunny Killers. Thanks for the biddies, I appreciate it. afternoon. They don't have Ruination mana here, and they don't have Go Hard. They don't have Pack Your Bags yet, just Go Hard.
If I kill you, I know fortunes.
I'm gonna go ahead and attack here. They notably don't have Vengeance mana up anymore, which is great.
Where you going?
Where you going? We have another whale here, maybe, to kill this and this. So I think with whale, an anonymous sub-gifter, thank you for the sub-gift. Welcome to 2 Point Perspective. I guess I just let this happen. I could Draven this here, and then this stays alive. Maybe that's right. I could also just play this as another Draven, though.
Waiting for?
Yeah, I'd probably rather just have another Draven.
Draven out? Wait. Where do you stand on cold shots? The party has arrived.
And then next turn, we can go second Kato into some treasure, ditch the axe, and then have pretty good open attacks the following turn. They notably do have Ruination mana up here at this point, though, so if they just pass with 9 mana, we'll probably take the pass and open. No, Kato is not Grant. He's just still end of turn. Oh, this is only their second Go Hard. Well, that changes everything. That's decent too. Let's just pull a blocker out of the way this turn so we can, like, do this to kill something. So, if they have Go Hard into Pack Your Bags here, we are just gonna die, but I don't think I can play around that. We do conveniently have 10 mana next turn, so if they do tell us to pack our bags here, I do get to go Kato into Vi next turn at least.
A game. Go on then.
Go on, then.
Something the matter.
And this is the part where they play Ledros after their 1 mana sweeper and kill us, right?
One girl wrecking crew.
Although if they had Ledros, they should have led on that, right? Because that would have put me to 6 and the pack would have put me to 5.
Sounds good.
So theoretically shouldn't have Ledros here. Yeah, I agree, Bruce, my dog. I think that's poor sequencing on my opponent's part. I think they definitely should have developed their board more before playing Pack the Bags. They could have possibly gotten more value out of it. I wouldn't have played into it, but they definitely should have developed. Well, if they manage to not have a Vengeance here, or Ruination, we could maybe be okay. But that's probably the game. I basically have to draw Captain Pharaoh next turn. I guess if we hit Rummage could do something. Rummage into Captain Pharaoh. How about a 2-2? Is it 2-2 in the game?
Nothing like the stink of blood and sweat.
They have 2 copies to go hard here. 2-2 is better than a 0-0. Not that we're in garbage time yet. We're definitely behind, but like Rummage is an absurd draw and Captain Pharaoh is an absurd draw, so like I think we very much have a game here.
Time to get rich.
Not on the list of absurd draws. Might.
Ye started without me.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up. Ryan the Mime, thank you for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7, 8. So I can level Vi here, right? This means Rummage is no longer a good draw. Vengeance, and then, you know. I think they're about to pack our bags anyways. Kate Oz, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, needed to find some of our card selection or top end there and just did not find any. Spun our tires passing for 3 or 4 turns. It's just not going to work out ever. Go hard gives the opponent's deck a lot of inevitability. Let's play one more at least. Try and end on a high note here. Hey, Eddie Pearson, welcome to the channel. Thanks for dropping in today. Ooh, Twisted Fizz. Someone just cheered for this deck. I think I'm in for Mystic Shot. I'm gonna mulligan the Rummages without a way to enable them. Just looking for other cheap cards. So, looking for our discard enablers at this point. Jury Rigs, Draven, things that make mushrooms. Basically, things that generate cards that we don't mind discarding because they're low value otherwise. Keeping Vi is basically a card you always keep in the opener. Getting to power her up from the start is really strong. And Jury Rig's a perfect draw. It's exactly what we're looking for here. Jury Rig can also, if they play Fizz here, and then they open attacks with Fizz next turn, not only can we clap Fizz, making them play a spell, but then we can block with Jury Rig, which is great. Oh, I have to skip blocks to do that. Alright, so it's definitely better to just play this and then block, right? That's fine. I think that's a win for us overall. We traded a Jury Rig for a Troll Chant. Yeah, that's fine, 2 point. Okay, and that's a discard. That's some discard fodder for Get Excited. This is probably a matchup where we're interested in racing. Fizz is difficult to interact with. Every time they cast a spell, they counter stuff targeting him. Sweet. So they're at 16, and we've got 8 points to reach in our hand. And we're going to have 8 power in play here in a second, plus 5. I can actually put Fizz in a box. Challenger units are very good against this annoying little dork.
Start the day.
Here comes the punchline.
Lee Sin Fizz. Sure. Let's have some good synergies
Never
together.
lost a fair game or played one. All that glitters.
Quite the stunning turn there. This is vulnerable, so we can hook it in here. This gives me a window to murder Fizz, which I think we take.
Lady Luck is smiling.
So we probably have a pump spell for this. I think we just take 4.
The party has arrived.
Okay, I think we just give Twisted Fate the clap here. Try our best to play around him leveling up and beating us that way. Yep.
Trouble coming at ya.
Salvage level him, not quite. These two are trading currently. Do they have like a frostbite here as well? I just say okay, right? Just put them to 6.
Get back here.
That was a Battle Fury they discarded. That's quite greedy. Like, feels like we're in a good spot here. Battle Fury. Battle Fury is quite scary on the old Fizzlet, though.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
Just pretend I'm not here, eh?
That's a biggin.
Listen and learn. Hey, now we're cooking.
They did bin a Brittle Steel earlier, so we could see if they have another one of those, perhaps. Elixir, sure.
This will be a good
Mommy Makeout Summer, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You're like, Whirling Death to kill the lizard. Yeah, it might be right to kill the lizard now at this point. So I didn't want a Whirling Death initially because I was worried about Brittle Steel, but now that they don't have Brittle Steel up anymore, I think we do that, yeah. So we do this, and then this will die to its own trigger, and then we can give this the clap to finish it off here, and then have open attacks that are likely lethal.
Come out and play.
So this does 2 to itself at the start of the turn. I get to ditch this Jury Rig to kill this.
Not again.
Still pretty good. I think this matchup's probably pretty bad for the opponent. As someone who's played a good bit of Twisted Fizz, I think that matchup's probably bad for them. While they can protect their Fizz against our direct damage spells, the fact that, like, Vi has Challenger gives them some real trouble. All in all, I was actually super happy with this deck. We had kind of a cute thing with Vi Kato as the initial build around and Whirling Death specifically, but honestly, I kind of feel like this card is underplayed in this format in general. One of the things Runeterra does with removal is removal tends to be more expensive than the cards you're killing a lot of the time, and Whirling Death, while it's kind of situational, it breaks that mold a lot of the ways, right? Like, Whirling Death often lets you trade 3 mana up into units that are a lot more expensive, and this card in general has just been really impressive, not only in this shell, but it's also very good in, we played the Overwhelm aggro deck with the Targon Splash. Yeah, Whirling Death and Decisive Maneuver are both good cards in the Overwhelm aggressive decks. Honestly, this deck felt good today for a lot of the same reasons that Ezreal Draven felt good. Just, you know, that Rummage package paired with Mushroom Clouds, some Jury. Usually the Draven deck doesn't, the Draven Ezreal deck doesn't play Jury Rig, but I was happy with that today. Some Dredger just feels like a really premium card. It's it blocks Fearsomes notably and just lets you churn through your deck, especially with our different mushroom things. Captain Pharaon needs no introduction. He's great. So I was really pretty happy with this overall, all things considered. I think if you're looking for kind of a sweet variation on that, like, aggressively slanted mid-range deck, similar to Draven Ezreal, this feels like it fills a very similar vein while being slightly more aggressive, thanks to how Vi and Kato position you at the top end of your curve. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for this morning, folks. I really appreciate everybody that hung out to the end. Emmy Holmes, thanks for the follow. Thanks to all the new follows today. Had a bunch of new people stop by the channel. Remember, if you enjoy the content, I'm here 5 to 7 days a week in the morning live. I'm live from about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can always find my exact live schedule up on my website. I also have a YouTube channel where guaranteed 7 days a week I post a deck highlight video. While spoilers are going on for the next week, I'm also posting a second video there each day that's a shorter deck highlight. Basically, it includes a deck tech, a wrap-up like we just did for this one, and then 2 or 3 of the best games through that set to kind of showcase what the different off-the-beaten-path deck is doing. Bumpkin and Fonzie, thanks for the follows. I also do some non-Runeterra stuff in the evenings a lot of the time. I'm signing off for now, but I'll be back in about 5.5 hours. So we're going to be playing some Pokemon VGC with Carter, who's someone who's been on before helping us learn the ropes of Pokemon VGC. Just here for Runeterra stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Check out, we did a Victor spoiler review. I'm going to post that on the highlights channel here in just a few minutes after I sign off. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe out there. Peace, folks.